When filming such equipment, there are a few things that can be confusing. First, the size of the object. Second, why does it rain when I'm filming ships, convertibles, and motorcycles? Third, half of the object is submerged in water, and the parts that are visible have names that are so complicated that an average person can't even pronounce them. Obgaldir giz kabeltak. How does it sound? And I absolutely can't not film it. Look at how looks. A serious vessel with very familiar outlines. I think if you spent your childhood near a big river, the sea, or a lake, you must have seen a little boat like that. I agree. It's not just a little boat, but a raid port tugboat. It even has a proper name, Kit, and it serves at the highly esteemed and highly respected training rowing base of the renowned St. Petersburg State Marine University. You've definitely seen something similar, especially expressive, memorable silhouette with increased saddle-like shape. That's what it's called in professional terms, if I'm not mistaken. This vessel is about 16 meters long, and the above water side, what you see, is about 1.5 meters, and it goes even deeper. And how much does it weigh? No. The displacement is almost 28 tons. It's with the crew, with food, with supplies, with fuel, with water. In general, that's all. The weight of the tug is a separate matter. The weight of any component is taken into account on the water. For example, the hull of the tug is fully welded, and it alone weighs 13.5 tons. I'm rounding the numbers up for clarity. It's clear that there will be extra tons when it comes to the total weight. Don't worry about calculating it. I'll announce the final weight. By the way, the wood in the ship weighs 1.5 tons. Even the crew is counted here. The entire crew with personal belongings weighs a total of 100 and 200 tons. Here it is, by the way. There are 6 of them, but 2 people are always on watch. What are the other 4 doing? They'll definitely find something to do on the ship. Scrubbing the deck, for example, or sharpening the anchors. And there are 2 of them here, like Danfords, and each one weighs 30 kilograms. By the way, this type of anchor was only introduced in 1948. The anchor, like a plow, digs into the ground and holds firmly. Take a look. Let's go to one of the heaviest parts of the ship, get a bit dirty, and at the same time, we'll understand why this tug is called a marine diesel tug with a power of 150 horsepower. Although it's already clear, if it weren't for the huge diesel engine, there would be quite a bit of space here. It's a little over 5 meters long, about 3 to 3.5 meters wide, and maybe even 4 meters at the bottom. In the center of the ship, and a tug is definitely a ship, is the engine room. If I were to tell and describe everything that's there wouldn't be enough time. So, the most important thing? This is of course the main ship's diesel engine, which powers the main propeller and is essential for the efficient operation of the ship. A 3D6 6-cylinder inline engine with a displacement of over 11 liters. The power, as you would expect, is 150 horsepower at 1500 RPM. So what makes this engine interesting? To start with, this is a design from the 1930s. Now next, this is exactly half of a 12-cylinder high-speed tank engine. And it's half along, not like we're used to, across. And this whole structure, out there in the distance, weighs over approximately 5 tons in length. And this little cable here, that's the gas. Slow speed or even at any fast speed. Here, all the controls are on cables. Well, I won't show everything. Headphones. They're not just hanging here for no reason. The sound of a running, even a cut-down tank engine. That's some serious power. This structure includes, besides the engine itself, a reverse gearbox, a propeller shaft, and other components that I'm not familiar with. The engine has a dry sump, with both water and oil cooling. The engine room also houses a tank for oil reserves, a tank for fresh water, a distribution panel, a battery box, and even a winch with a capstan, and a control panel for monitoring and managing the equipment. There is a firefighting system, a water fire system, and besides fire extinguishers, there is also a sandbox. Here's the word I learned. The stern tube. The tube that runs through the hull of the vessel, through which the propeller shaft passes. It also serves as a shaft guide, and it prevents water from entering the hull of the vessel. And the stern tube also has its own cooling system. I don't know why I need this information, but it's interesting. You can also control the ship from here. Here's the lever for the reverse gear. Forward, backward. All right, it's time to head upstairs. We have a small and reliable single-deck tugboat. This is actually all the deck. It's wide. 4 meters. So let's simply continue opening the doors. The term clinkered or clinkheaded is used to describe something that is airtight, completely sealed and impervious to air. Oh, sorry. The restroom, a place of relaxation and respite with a sink. Well, you can stand up straight, it doesn't squeeze your shoulders, and there's also a sink with hot water. So, let's continue our exploration and keep studying diligently. We are now transitioning to the starboard side of the vessel, where we will focus our attention next. The rain seems to be letting up. That's already a blessing. So, what do we see right here? As you enter, there's a small and cozy kitchen with a gas stove and also a sink. The floor is tiled, there's a heater, and again, there's hot water at the sink. I should also mention that the boat is divided by 3 watertight transverse bulkheads into 4 compartments. 4 peak forward, such as living quarters, engine room, and after peak. The aft peak is the stern compartment between the transom and the aft transverse bulkhead. But before we go into the wheelhouse, which I'd like to call the captain's bridge, let's head down to the cabin. It's quite cozy, and I'm not feeling claustrophobic at all. I can stand up straight. I know for sure that it's approximately 4.5 meters long. Now it's clear where the crew members and probably the captain hide when, so to speak, there's nothing for them to do. What do we have here? Everything is thought out down to the smallest detail. Down to the smallest detail. All right, let's figure out how to lift this up. Everything gets strapped in safely and securely. Well, it's abundantly clear that to avoid rolling, no one got hurt, fortunately and thankfully. And that creates sleeping spaces. 6 people can be comfortably accommodated in a spacious and comfortable manner. The table unfolds with ease and efficiency. What an interesting mechanism. It is truly a fascinating and innovative mechanism. Yes, most definitely, the length allows a tall person to lie down. There are portholes above. I've thought my whole life about what this pipe is and where it leads. It turns out it's all simple. It's warm here. The outline of the battery. Actually, the ship is currently heated using electricity. In the front part of the ship, in the forecastle, there are also compartments labeled paint room and lantern room, as it was written on the plan. And there's also a compartment at the stern called the skipper's cabin. There are also 2 fuel tanks on the left and right, or rather cisterns, each with a capacity of 1¼ cubic meters. The captain's bridge. And there's not as much here as I initially expected to be present. I'll try to figure it out by intuition. Later, if anything comes up, they'll let me know. Well, a steering wheel is a steering wheel even in Africa. But here there's a really nice instrument that shows how the ship's wheel turns. On the right side, there's the lever for the reverse reducer, forward and backward, the lever. Gas. The gas system is located here. On the left side, you will find a clinometer, an instrument that shows how much the ship is tilting. There is a desk, which dates back to the 60s, adding a touch of history. A desk. St. Petersburg State Marine Technical University. I envy you guys. So remember how it was in the 60s. Stand up, sit down, there's a place for the handles here. What can I do? I can basically start the engine safely and efficiently. Since the engine is almost like a tank engine, the startup algorithm is pretty much the same in essence. Let's add a little more gas. Perhaps we should consider doing so. We press the button, raise the oil pressure to 4 and start.
И запуск.
If you indeed think a very big ship can actually set off extremely quickly, you're mistaken. In fact, it's a whole lengthy ritual, a process. I don't understand it yet. But it looks beautiful. A bit of history. The tugboat project began development in 1947 by order of the Ministry of the Merchant Marine, approved by the Minister of the Merchant Marine of the USSR, Pyotr Petrovich Shershev, a hero of the Soviet Union, and a member of the VKPB CPSU since 1938. The project itself was developed by Morsudprodukt according to the technical specifications. The first single-deck screw diesel tugboat with a wheelhouse on the forecastle left the factory on October 30th, 1950. Today the weather is whispering. The water in the little Neva has risen, so we can't head out to the Gulf of Finland. And here I am sitting. While the captain of the first rank is at the helm, I almost said, of the vehicle. The ship has a steering mechanism. It's mechanical, and if you look from below, there's a cable running. Yes, thank you, here it is. People are working, unlike me. Here I am, a tourist in the city on the Neva. So the rudder blade is turned by a cable. I want to point out right away that projects 433 and 73 are practically identical. The difference is in the nuances, which we can discuss later. Our tugboat is designed to operate in ports and open roads, with a distance of up to 20 nautical miles from a sheltered port. And that's about 37 kilometers in our terms, on land. Moreover, the sturdy sides allow it to work in ice. Comrade Captain, first rank, this is a tugboat.
Tugboat! Which one exactly could you please elaborate on? Like,
what does it tow behind it? Barges, ships, or whatever is needed.
mainly non-self-propelled barges.
All right, what's its maximum speed?
Approximately 4.5 knots. That's with the load as we had anticipated.
Got it.
The maximum is approximately about 7.5 or so. That's approximately about 15 kilometers per hour, which is equivalent to a speed of...
Yes, actually, in fact, its maximum capacity is 9. I got ready 9, and that's already 17 kilometers per hour. Oh, they'll tell me later that you're Zinkovich sitting in a soft chair with the captain of the first rank. Because soft. This is actually a boat now. A boat! It goes to Onega, right?
No, it goes to the Gulf of Finland. To the Gulf of Finland. It goes on storming expeditions, providing valuable hands-on experience for students of the Dual Training Center, equipping them with essential maritime skills. It is utilized as a powerful tugboat and reliable support boat.
Just a little bit, just a tiny bit more allowed, only slightly. The reason is that the physics of steering a ship is not entirely clear to me, in my understanding. There are delays everywhere somewhat, a bit more indeed, a little more. What you really need is practice, and only practice, nothing more. I forgot to mention the propeller. The vessel's propeller is a 4-blade mushroom propeller with a diameter of 1060 millimeters. Just think about it. Over a meter. For comparison, Gans has only 50 centimeters. Well, a little more. When the engine operates at nominal power, the rotation speed of the mushroom propeller is 488 revolutions per minute. Such tugs were produced by several enterprises in the USSR, in the territory of the RSFSR, the Latvian SSR, the Ukrainian SSR, and even in modern China, in the city of Dalian, which used to be a Russian city called Dalny. Honestly, I haven't even shared 30% of what can be said about this vessel. I just won't have enough time. Well, I actually most likely probably don't know a lot. Yeah, I don't know a lot. I'm studying maritime and nautical topics along with you, because I probably won't have enough lifetime to fully explore them. But I can open a small crack for you and peek inside and delve into their depths. In any case, the hunt. Sorry, it continues.
Thank God! Thank God!